Hi, and thanks for logging on to the Daily DVAR Halacha. And here's a brand new halacha for you, and it's for Friday, the 6th of May, which is the 28th of Nissan. And before I give you your halacha for today, I want to remind you that this Shabbos is going to be Shabbos Mevarchim. We'll say the special Birchas HaChodesh for the Rosh Chodesh, which is coming up right after Shabbos. 2-day Rosh Chodesh is going to be on Sunday and on Monday. Sunday marks the last day of Nissan. Monday marks the first day of Iyar. So be prepared for a special haftorah. The special haftorah that always is said whenever there's a Rosh Chodesh, that is Machar Chodesh, right after Shabbos. So watch for that haftorah, and they'll be announcing in your shul at the Birkas HaChodesh, uh, Rosh Chodesh Iyar, Yihiyeh Bayom Harishon Uvayom Hasheni. If I got those words right. That's the Birchas HaChodesh that you should be prepared for. Anyway, back to our regular laws. When you want to make coffee, we're doing a few coffee laws here for you the last few days. It's and you want to make a coffee on Shabbos, so you know the coffee powder, if it's instant coffee, could become possibly cooked unofficially or officially when the hot water hits it, and therefore it's best if you don't have the hot water come right out of the urn directly onto the powder of the coffee. Best, some rabbis say that the best thing to do is to put the water into a kli sheni. In other words, make sure not to have it go right from the urn, but put it in a second cup and have the coffee powder enter into that second cup. Other rabbis like Rav Moshe Feinstein Zatzal, Rav Belsky Zatzal, they say that it's a good idea to have it all happen in a kli shlishi. That's the stuff comes out of the urn, that's the Kli Rishon, lands in the first vessel, that's the first cup, that's called the Kli Sheni, and then pour over into a Kli Shlishi, a third vessel, and have the coffee powder added in there. Some people say that the coffee powder should go into that vessel, that cup first, because otherwise you could be possibly, according to some rabbis, coloring the water brown, and you're not supposed to color things on Shabbos. If the powder is in that Kli Shlishi, that third vessel, first, then you don't have to worry about that happening. Not all rabbis agree to that, but you're safe if you use a third cup. It's actually a second cup, right? Urn is number 1, cup is number 2, and that second cup is called number 3, and have the coffee powder in there before, and then you shouldn't have any problem whatsoever. The Ramah says that if you ever wanted to serve almond milk, which is something they used to drink. We still have it around today. If you wanted to drink almond milk at a meat meal, you would have to have some almonds on the table just to remind people that, hey, this isn't milk, and it'll become real clear through the actual almonds lying there. Do you have to do that nowadays when you have coffee creamer with your coffee at a meat meal? Everybody knows what coffee creamer is, and everybody knows that it's parv. Or should you actually have the bottle there? So Rav Belsky and a lot of other rabbis say that it's okay to not have the coffee creamer bottle actually sitting there because everybody nowadays knows that it's very common to have parv coffee creamer and they're not really wondering what you're doing. What about going into a coffee shop that serves non-kosher items, but there are kosher items in there too? Most rabbis say because there are kosher items in there and you could be going in there for the kosher items, then it's fine to go in there to buy the kosher items and you don't have to worry about what it might look like. And next one would be Bishul Akum. That means you're not supposed to have things that were cooked by a non-Jew. So in the processing of coffee, what happens is a non-Jew, if the workers in the plant are non-Jewish, which is likely, they are doing all kinds of high heat things to the coffee powder. So are they considered cooking up your coffee? Coffee things that are cooked by a non-Jew are really not supposed to be. We try not to have things that were cooked for us by a non-Jew. So, and Bishul Akam applies to any food that is inedible raw and also would be served on the table of a king. Well, coffee is inedible raw and it is servable on the table of a king. Kings would have coffee. It's delicious even for a great king. So do I have to worry about the actual cooking that happened in the making of the coffee powder? And all the rabbis say, no, that's not a fear, because in the making of the coffee powder, that coffee powder is not edible, on a king's table. Only the actual coffee drink is. So you don't have to worry about that some cooking went into the making of the powder. I guess that leaves us with the next question, which is okay, but can I have a non Jew make my coffee for me? Because then he's cooking up the coffee, and would that be a problem of Bishul Akum? A non Jew cooked up my cup of coffee for me. And that we're going to try and hit right after Shabbos. Stay tuned. Have a great Shabbos and a good Chodesh, and log in after Shabbos when it's Rosh Chodesh for more on the topic of coffee. Bye bye. Have a great Shabbos.